Soft pastel or soft pastel, where do you stand on the pronunciation? Let me know. These beautiful little things made out of clay and pigment. How much more pure can you get than that? The idea of laying down pigment and clay from the earth onto your paper or whatever board you might be using, and it seems so environmentally appealing, doesn't it, compared to the plastics in acrylic and maybe some of the solvents you have to deal with in oil painting. So it seems so pure and wonderful, and the pigments are so bright and strong, and it's relatively inexpensive. You can spend big money on soft pastels if you want, but it's not too bad. And I've used them before to make different pieces of art. I made this one, a sort of copy of one of Kandinsky's paintings of these sort of colour circles, and it looks kind of nice. The problem is I don't think it's quite finished. I've put fixative on it and I'm wondering if I can go over it again and just brighten it up and make it a bit more defined in certain areas, but still have the looseness which the work of art is supposed to have in homage to Kandinsky. The problem I have, however, is I actually hate soft pastels or soft pastels. I just can't get on with them. First and foremost, you touch them and 1 second later you're covered in dust. It goes everywhere. So I'm going to try today to try and make friends with soft pastels again. I've got this little tray, so hopefully I can maintain the dust in there. It's great for blending, but blending it does, and it gets everywhere. It gets on the borders of the paper, which I was trying to kind of keep white, and now I think I'll have to paint like a darker colour. It gets on the tables, it gets, if you've got electrical equipment, it's going to get in that. And obviously no normal artist spends all their time separating everything, and well, maybe you do, maybe you're better than me, but inevitably they get absolutely caped in all the other pastels unless you've got tiny little individual boxes for them, and you're really sort of like almost like biological warfare standard clean with it. You know, it's gonna cause mess, and that is why unfortunately I have not been using them, but I'm going to try and use them today, and I'm going to try and make friends with them, and we're going to see if the tray is going to allow us to make friends with them. And so the first thing you have to do is clean the pastel. Now it's relatively easy to do because it's so soft and sort of, it's not quite chalky, but it's in the area of chalk, and in fact you could argue that it is kind of just posh chalk. But I guess clay and chalk are slightly different sort of mediums into which the pigment is bound. So it's pretty easy to clean up your pastel, and I think it could just be a matter of finding a way to do it. However, as soon as you've touched that one, you're going to have to clean your hands before you touch another one. And yeah, I really have envy for people who find this a way of working that's fun. But for me, it's not been that yet. So let's try and do it today. I'd like to move the camera over here so you can see what I'm doing, but I'm already gonna have to wipe my hands to do so. Anyway, let's get it over here so we can have a look at what we're doing. So I've got this nice blue here, and I think what I'll do is I'll try and improve the definition of the boxes, and that quite a lot of the pastels have sort of like mixed in to where I think there should be more solid blocks of colour. So that's what I'm going to try and improve today, and then hopefully we can call this piece of art finished. There's bits of white on there as well that I'd quite like to get rid of as well. So let me know, do you work with soft pastels or soft pastels, and do you have any tips or tricks for staying clean, or do you just like the fact that it's a big old mess? Maybe you do. Maybe that's part of its actual appeal. And normally I don't really mind mess, but there's something about the dustiness of it that really does cause me stress. Right, you see, how do you do a fine line through here? I guess just like that. I guess you just do it around to here. I suppose in many ways it demands precision, and maybe that's why I don't like it, because Maybe I don't have precision, as I'm proving now as I sort of head into the... And we can sort of blend this into the paper, which is quite nice. From the beneath the dust, really nice red has emerged. I'll try and do this next bit over here, brighten this up a bit. Also, they're prone to breaking, which could be a good thing or a bad thing. You can definitely get a finer edge when it's broken off. Right, let's try and improve the concentric circles. I think the boxes are about as good as they're going to get. Bit of purple. Got sort of a weird ultramarine lilac-y colour. It's had a bit of that. So I sprayed it with this colourless fixative spray. It's outside drying on the floor. And then I need to think about what kind of border I'm going to do. The white was the original idea, but it's absolutely covered in the soft pastel. Have I got any on my face? Obviously. And yeah, so maybe I'll paint that gold. We'll see. And yeah, here's the mess. It's not too bad. It's relatively contained within here, but there's still dust everywhere from when I've had to blow on it a bit and a little bit on the camera and everything like that. So what's the messiest mark making medium? Messiest mark making medium that you can think of? I'm putting this down as the messiest. I mean, clay, if you're doing pottery, that's messier, isn't it? But in terms of mark making on a board or a paper or a surface, you know, what is the messiest one? Is it this? I can't see me using it a lot, but I did find it kind of satisfying, but then frustrating as well when things were mixing in that you didn't want to mix in. I think with some practice it could be quite good. Painting my borders gold, you can just about see here. I've just put some tape down and I'm painting over a couple of coats. Get them gold so they look a bit tidier. All that soft pastel sort of leaked its way onto the white border, so let's try and get rid of that. I did give it a coating of gloss medium to really try and seal it in for when I did this kind of finishing off work, so that it doesn't wreck the work that's underneath basically. But while that's been going on, I have received a package from the post office worker, and it's a piece of art that I bought off from another YouTube channel that I like to watch, Simone Whip, and yeah, she made a video about some of her paintings that she's selling, and this is one of them. I really liked it, so I thought, very affordable, nice piece of artwork, so I purchased it. I'm looking forward to getting it in a frame, and I think I'm going to put it upstairs. I think that's where I'm going to put it, somewhere maybe in our bedroom, something like that, because it'll fit in quite well with what's already there. I did have some ACEOs up there in the frame. Unfortunately, they fell off. I will not allow that to happen to this piece. I will fix it better than what I did with that last frame, which unfortunately has broken a bit on the corner. So yeah, go and check out her channel. She's got some more of these for sale. They're very affordable, very nice, and it's really cool. And it's always exciting to get some art in the post. Finished, not finished. So today I have done the golden border. I've got some little gold dots in the middle as well, and I put some little black dots underneath it with the bottom of a paintbrush, and then I used this blade dipped in black paint to add some tiny thin black lines on the edges of the boxes. But I do think it's still not quite finished. I do think it needs a little bit of filling in on these background colours, and I think I can improve it more, so I will. I don't know when, but I will. Anyway, what do you think to soft pastel? Is it good? I've definitely seen some well-known artists sort of master it and blend it in beautifully. I don't know. I think I saw one video of their studio and it was a dusty mess, and that for me is the problem, especially when your current studio is your kitchen table, even if it has got a cover on it. Anyway, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of this. Let me know what you think of soft pastel. What is your least favourite medium? I'll see you next video. Bye-bye.